Hey there, all you fine folks. Today I got a movie that's almost as old as me. Car Wash. Talking about the car wash, yeah. Car Wash is a movie from 1976. It's a sort of a musical. It's not really a musical because the characters don't sing. But there's a crap ton of music in here. It's all funky 70s music. You know the theme song, Car Wash. I can't replicate it here because I'll get sued, but you know what I'm talking about. And you may notice on the cover here, you may recognize this guy, Richard Pryor, of course. Although he's in it and he has a pretty good long scene, he's only in that one scene, and it's only about 5 minutes long. But I guess he was the biggest star in it, and his performance is pretty good. It's a really good scene. But the movie itself is really more about all these guys over here. All these people that work at the car wash. Basically, the whole movie takes place in one day at an inner city car wash in the Los Angeles area. And it's all about the exploits of the car wash workers. Now, this is 1976, of course. This is at a time when not all car washes were automatic or self-serve or anything like that. This is when people would actually wash your car for you. They still do things the old school way. You know, full service car wash. We're going to clean the interior for you. We're going to clean the outside and give it a nice coat of wax and all that stuff. And they do what a car wash does, but by hand. And there's almost a dozen or so employees at this car wash. Everybody is awesome in this. Like, all the actors are really good. And it's a comedy. It's not like drop dead hilarious. There's some funny, crazy things that happen. I mean, there's some issues in there, like some of the employees have issues with each other. A couple have a issue with the entire system, I suppose. And there's others that are facing, like, you know, racism and homophobia, that sort of thing. There's one gay character in here that's he's probably one of the best characters in the whole movie, and one of the funniest ones too. Predominantly African-American workers at the car wash, but you know, you got the rich white guy's running the thing. Well, he's not that rich, but he's the manager, and he's like, he treats everybody really well, or he tries to. The day-to-day life and times of 1976 inner city car wash. And even in the scene where Richard Pryor shows up, he plays like this rich, I don't know, preacher or pimp, or he plays Daddy Rich. And he gets out of this limo and he's carrying the walking stick and everything, and he's surrounded by beautiful girls who turn out to be the Pointer Sisters, his backup singers or whatever. And so he basically strolls through the car wash and gets treated like a king. You know, everybody like worships him because he's all rich and, you know, runs shit around town or whatever. I don't know. So I'm guessing he's kind of like a pimp. I don't know, but he's also like a preacher. It's weird. There's one character who's really opposed to Daddy Rich, though. He's very militant. I'm assuming, you know, kind of like Black Panther, kind of, you know, he's converted to Islam, and he's very critical of the, you know, the system, the way that it works, and he just hates Daddy Rich. He's played by Bill Duke, who you might remember this guy from Predator. You know, the guy that's shaving his head with no shaving cream or whatever in the middle of the jungle. Yeah, he's pretty badass in here too. The most serious character in the entire movie. And there's a really moving scene with him in the end. I don't want to give you any spoilers, but it's a great story. It's a great human story. It's like, yeah, it's goofy. These guys play practical jokes on each other, and crazy things happen. Like, some super rich lady drives in and her kid is sick and she needs to get the car cleaned right away. There's a guy in a full body cast for whatever reason, and they're trying to talk to him, but they can't understand him because even his mouth is like he's got a cast over his entire face except for the eye holes. Then there's the guy who brings his dog and lets the dog shit on the pavement, and then there's jokes to do with the dog shit. You know, everybody's got their thing. Everybody's got their personality quirk, you know, like you have your grumpy old ex-con guy, grumpy but heart of gold, you know, and then there's, the militant Islamic converted guy. Then you get TC, I believe his name is, the guy with a gigantic afro, seriously, it's like a foot away from, his scalp. You know, they don't do it for laughs or anything like that. That's just how it was back then, and he was looking pretty sharp, I've got to say. There's a subplot with him, and he's trying to pick up this waitress that works in the restaurant that shares the parking lot with the car wash. Keeps trying to win these tickets to this event, and he's going to take this waitress, and anyway, and he eventually wins her over, and he takes her out for a date and all that, and he wins the contest. And spoilers, then there's a couple of them that are rehearsing to be dancers or singers, sort of like a performing act, and they dance into every scene, and they're singing all the time, and I can't even really do justice to all the characters in here, and I can't believe that they all got so much to do. I mean, there's some people only had maybe 10 lines, but you get a really good sense of who they are, what they're doing there, and kind of, what kind of people they are. And that's what this whole movie is all about. It's all about, we're all kind of different, and all weird stuff is happening to us, and we just got to deal with it. And this is one of those very few feel-good movies that I really like, because as I said, I mean, it's not drop-dead hilarious, but it really does make you feel good about these characters, and you want to see them do well and succeed and conclude their tiny little storylines, and because the whole thing takes place in one day, and it ends at the end of the day. They all come back and do it again the next day. But what other crazy hijinks are going to happen at the car wash today? I don't know why it took me so long to go back and watch this. I mean, because I think I might have seen part of it on TV back in the 70s or 80s. I never did see this in the theater or the drive-in or anything like that. But I knew of it, and I knew the song. And I guess I just, being a kid with a really short attention span, probably didn't see very much of the movie on TV. But yeah, I went back and I watched it this time, and I was really invested in it from the moment it started. And again, I think a lot of it has to do with that music. You just gotta see it. It's just a movie with a bunch of disco songs in it and stuff, and funk and R&B and that kind of music, and the music is way superior to something like Popeye, which is trying to musically tell you a story. Whereas this one, well, the music just enhances the story. It doesn't tell you the story. Really liked it. So I'm going to go ahead and give Car Wash an A. That's right. I don't usually go for those feel-good movies, but this one did make me feel good. And I was smiling the whole way through this movie. And there's very few scenes where anything actually really bad happens to the characters. There's not that many super dramatic scenes, but the ones that there are really impactful, and they're, they end with making you feel good. So, feel good, made me feel good, A. So until next time, have a good one, everybody.